Welcome to the Liberating Joy and Learning podcast. I'm Robert Beckshin, and today we're wrapping up our discussion of learning principles in Jeff Goins' book, The Art of Work, A Proven Path to Discovering What We Were Meant to Do. Today we're going to talk about some of his thoughts that relate to the primary lenses of working with resistance and training with a mentor. Now, given that Goins' book is about work, we learn a lot about the primary lens, working with resistance. By working with resistance, we recognize the challenges that don't go away. Then we move to act using resistance to help us grow. And here are some of the quotes from his book related to work that I really like. Clarity comes with action. Practice is what tests your resolve, what forces you to hone your abilities long after the spark has faded. The way we make our way from dream to reality is through small, intentional steps. Decisions reveal opportunity. Every step will reveal new choices to make. Nobody gets changed by an ideal. Nothing gets shaken by a dream. And the world remains the same regardless of how great your idea is. It's only when people take action that true transformation happens. Sometimes working with resistance brings on some anxiety and often fear. Concerning this, Goins says, fear is where ideas and action meet. When we stop dreaming and start living, there is a tension here in this place of action and risk is inevitable, but the rewards are great. So, question, which quote most spoke to you concerning working with resistance, and how does it affect your understanding of this primary lens?
I just gave up and I was like, I just like all these quotes, so I just started listing them.
I really like, there's a couple in here. The first one is, every step will reveal new choices to make. Regardless of if it's a mistake or if it's right or if it's hard or easy, every step you take towards a learning goal or a goal of any kind, you're going to find out new opportunities, new choices. So I really like that one.
Well, it's like that quote, take a step out into the darkness and
Right.
then the path appears.
Right.
I'm thinking that every single step on some level is a step into the darkness.
Right.
Right. Like that. The quote makes it sound like it's an unusual event. I think
No.
really it happens every single time.
Yeah, it happens every single time for people that aren't sitting on their butts.
Yeah, that want to really go out and
Who just
learn and grow and progress
grow.
and experience new things.
Right.
Yeah.
If all you want to do is sit at home and play video games, you're not going to do that. You're going to be a couch potato. You're going to be a lump on a log. Anybody that has any hint of desire to grow is going to do that. So I really like that one. And the other one was, what was it? Nobody gets changed by an ideal. Nobody gets shaken by a dream. And the world remains the same regardless of how great your idea is. It's only when people take action that true transformation happens. We can have the best ideas in the world, and I've come up with some doozies throughout my life, but I haven't done anything about them.
Right.
At least the ones that are important to me, I do.
Yeah.
And I can see that transformation happens when I get off my butt and I get to work.
Right.
It doesn't happen. You can be, again, how many times do we hear people, oh, I had that idea, and somebody else came up with it, and they sold my idea. Well, no. They had the idea, they got off of their butts, and they worked to implement it.
Right.
And they achieved whatever because of that.
Right. When I was in college, this is really dumb. I had a job, and my route home, there was a sidewalk that went, and I knew from experience from where I walked out the door, it looked like it continued on to another path.
Right.
And just continued up some stairs or whatever. But I knew from experience by getting there, what I couldn't see was that the path went left. And that it didn't actually lead right to those stairs. I had to walk through a parking lot.
Uh-huh.
That's what happens when you go to work. When somebody is actually in the trenches doing something, they can see things that people can't see that aren't doing anything.
Right.
And so you have to jump out there and do something.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to move.
I liked decisions reveal opportunity. Once you've decided and you're ready to start taking actions, then you really, like I just said, when you start deciding and acting, then you see new opportunities that you can't see otherwise.
Right.
Overcoming the challenges of working with resistance, we all eventually need to train with a mentor. Training with a mentor means finding someone who deeply understands the process of learning what we seek and who can inspire us with their experienced perspective in order to truly empower our growing desires and learning claims. So it's this person that's already taken lots of actions, and knows that the sidewalk's going to curb before it gets to the stairs. They know that, and you have to rely on somebody else at some
Right.
point. So here's some quotes. Again, I just had so many quotes, I didn't know how to make them into a coherent script. So here's some quotes that I liked. Sometimes all it takes to make a difficult decision is an affirming voice telling you what you know to be true, but still need to hear. You cannot master a skill on your own. Finding your calling will not happen without the aid and assistance of others. Every story of success is, in fact, a story of community.
Mm-hmm.
So I love the affirming voice.
Right. I do.
Right. That totally makes sense to me, that sometimes you just need someone saying, okay, you're going to be on this sidewalk. It's going to curve, but you'll be fine.
Yeah.
You know, you can walk through the parking lot. It'll be cool.
Right.
All right. Another one. At some point while we head toward our life's work, someone new and unfamiliar will have to come into our lives and speak with authority.
Mm-hmm.
We have believed the myth of the self-made man and have given in to the illusion of self-reliance. What we need is something to pull us out of our own independence and arrogance. Right. So what are your thoughts on those quotes?
Well, the one that really speaks to me is that the first one, sometimes all it takes is to make a difficult decision is an affirming voice telling you what you know to be true, but still need to hear. When I was in high school, I can't remember if it was a freshman or a sophomore. I was a sophomore, and I was in a cabinet making class, which I really enjoyed woodworking when I was in high school. And my project for that year was to make this desk. And I got the plans. I started working on it. I remember I had to go in one Saturday because it was getting. I just was behind. I needed to pick up the pace on this desk. And I remember I was out in the shop, and in my high school it was a small shop. 2/3 of it was the shop, and then the other third was a classroom where they also taught drafting. And as I was working, I remember hearing one of the students, who was an older student than me, ask him, "Is he going to be okay out there? Does he know what he's doing? I'm just a sophomore. This other guy was a senior." And I remember my teacher, he was in there, and I said, "Don't worry about him. He knows what he's doing. I have faith in him." And that was amazing. He didn't say it to me, but I think he knew that I could hear, and I felt really good about that. It made me feel good about my project that I was doing. I won I won an award for it at a show later on in the year. I can't remember, but it was just having that mentor, that somebody that knew what to do, and affirmed that what I was doing was correct, and that he had faith in my skills. Helped me have faith in my skills. I felt like, okay, I know what I'm doing. I can do this. Mm-hmm. And as a sophomore in high school, that's immense.
Yeah, especially at that age.
Yeah,
where you're feeling like you don't know anything, but you do anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, so I love that. And then on the other side of that is this idea that sometimes you have to have someone new and unfamiliar come into your life. They have to give you information that's unfamiliar to you. A good portion of what we do with Learning Liberated, those primary lenses, is tuning into what our heart already knows. But sometimes with a mentor, they're going to pull you in a direction that's uncomfortable, that's different. Now, granted, you want to pick a mentor that still resonates with you, and it's still going to feel right on some level.
Right.
But on some level, it's going to feel very foreign. And you have to put your trust into this person who knows where the sidewalk's going to go, who knows, who's done woodworking for years and years and years, and that that confidence was foreign to you, and they instilled that into you for that. So I love this interplay between something that's comfortable but not. Right.
And I think it's more than it's. In a way, it's uncomfortable, but when you work with a mentor that you trust, whether it's somebody that you've known for a long time, or somebody that comes into your life for whatever reason, what they say makes sense to you.
Yeah, even if it's unfamiliar.
Even if it's unfamiliar, you're like, oh, that's right. That's a good. I hadn't thought about that. That's what I need to do.
Yeah.
And so it's not that somebody comes in and is ordering you to go someplace that you don't want to go.
Yeah, clear off the off the map kind of thing.
Right. It's whether, like I said, whether they're familiar to you or somebody new, what they're saying makes sense.
Yeah.
And then you can see your path. You can see that what they're doing is going to get you to your goal.
Right. It opens up new possibilities that you wouldn't have considered. Like, it really does take you into unfamiliar territory in that familiar territory.
Right. Yeah. Again, getting back to what we were saying before, it sings to you. You feel that in your heart. Yeah.
Yep. Awesome. Okay, that wraps up our discussion of Jeff Goins' book, The Art of Work, and the principles in it that illustrate working with resistance and training with a mentor. If you find other interesting thoughts about learning this book, we would really love to hear them.
Yes, we would.
And as always, if you have questions or comments about anything related to learning, message us at learningliberated@gmail.com or on our Learning Liberated Facebook group. And if this episode spoke to you, share it with someone else that might enjoy this one. Bye.
Bye.